The strategists. The men to beat.
That's a splendid ball to catch Nevin clear and onside. He's in against Seaman. Bumstead, it's a good effort. Oh. It's an outrageous save by Grobbelaar.
The potential match winners.
Thomas, that's a great ball out to the left. Oh, what a tremendous goal!
Lovely little ball in. It's another one for Rush.
Head-to-head, pound for pound, this is the heavyweight championship of the Barclays League. Unbeaten, except in the Rumbelows Cup. Arsenal's only setback of the season was one of the biggest shocks of the season. The memories are fresh. Hello there. Most meaningful match in the first half of the season, with the added ingredient, of course, since Wednesday. That's how will Arsenal react, Gary Lineker, our guest today, to that 6-goal mauling that they received at the hands of Manchester United on Wednesday.
Well, slightly cautiously, it seems, by the team selection. I think you'll find that Arsenal are going to play through at the back. They brought in O'Leary.
They brought O'Leary in, that's right.
And funny, Kenny Dalglish has been a bit cautious as well. He's playing 4 fullbacks down the flank. So I think both managers see it as a game they really don't want to lose.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? As it was at White Hart Lane a few weeks ago when Kenny Dalglish did pretty much the same thing and came away with a win. Let's see what happens today. Let's sample the atmosphere of Highbury with our commentators Jimmy Greaves and Brian Moore.
Well, it's certainly wonderful conditions here in North London today. Our first duty, as ever, is to check on the two teams. Starting with Arsenal, with David Seaman in goal, number 2 Lee Dixon, 3 Nigel Winterburn, 4 Michael Thomas, 5 Steve Bold, 6 Tony Adams, 7 David O'Leary in for just the second game this season, 8 Paul Davis, 9 Alan Smith, 10 Paul Merson, and 11 Anders Limpar. You can see the 3 centre-backs, as we've already mentioned. Liverpool now. Let's have a look at the Liverpool team, and the big surprise here is that Peter Beardsley is not even in the 13 for this game. In fact, Peter's enjoying the warmth of our studio along with his mate Gary Lineker. The Liverpool team then with Bruce Grobbelaar in goal, number 2 Glenn Hussein, 3 David Burrows, 4 Steve Nicol, 5 Ronnie Whelan, 6 Gary Gillespie, 7 Gary Ablett, 8 is Barry Venison, 9 is Ian Rush, 10 is John Barnes, 11 Steve McMahon is injured, Jan Molby wears the number 11 shirt, and as always there's conjecture on the way they'll play. I understand it's going to be a flat back 4, presumably Venison at right back, Nicol, Ablett, Molby and Whelan in the midfield, Barnes and Rush up front. Our referee today, Alan Gunn of South Chailey in Sussex, 15 years in the middle, one of our most experienced referees on what really should be a momentous afternoon of Barclays League football. Let's bring you up to date with the substitutes. Kevin Campbell and Perry Groves for Arsenal, Ronnie Rosenthal and Ray Houghton for Liverpool. It's Liverpool then in the a change strip of silver grey getting us underway. Attacking the goal to our left. Steve Nicol is slotted into the right back position, and it looks as though Venison will be playing on the right side of midfield with Ablett at the left back and Burrows in the midfield. Well, I've said before, it's always conjecture. You get very little, probably quite rightly so, out of Kenny Dalglish. Plays, as they say, those cards very close to his chest. What we do know is that David O'Leary is one of 3 centre-backs for Arsenal, and a first touch there for Bruce Grobbelaar.
Which is a bit disappointing, Brian, because talking to David O'Leary before the game, he said he was going to be doing a jink down the right-hand side, a la Stanley Matthews, but obviously...
Don't be fooled by the number 7 shirt,
no, exactly.
Jimmy.
You're right.
Well, here is David O'Leary. I must say, from my point of view, I find it very disappointing as a spectacle that a player like Peter Beardsley is not likely to be on the field today. 11 goals this season and a good little run with 3 in the last 4. But as we've said before, he's a supreme strategist, this Kenny Dalglish. Here's Ablett playing at left back. Molby. Arrows. To Barnes. Whelan.
You're right about Kenny Dalglish being a superb strategist, but when you leave your top goal scorer on the line, or not even include him, it's a bit of a decision.
In the meantime, of course, all Arsenal fans wondering just where we go from here. Is it a side that left here on Wednesday night in tatters? The one that really all season has oozed such professionalism. There's O'Leary, unbeaten in the league, remember, as are Liverpool. And Arsenal with the best defensive record in the league, in the first division at any rate. In goes Dixon. 6 goals conceded in 14 league games, and indeed only Liverpool have scored more. I'll be getting a word from the referee, and a free kick to Arsenal. Terrific battles they've had in the league over the last few years here, and in fact Liverpool have done well here. They've won 2 and drawn 2 of the last 4 they've played here in the league. Although Arsenal, if memory serves me, won in the Littlewoods Cup here last season with a late goal by Alan Smith, and on an occasion then when Liverpool played a sweeper with Jan Molby. Kenny Dalglish has opted to play much more orthodox flat back 4 for this encounter, and Liverpool get a free kick.
I'd be very surprised if Arsenal let in 6 today. I think they'll just regard that as a freak incident. And as Maggie Thatcher said, it's a funny old game, Brian.
Took your best line there, Jim.
Yeah.
There's a good cross coming in towards Rush. Little touch there from Thomas. And he couldn't keep it in play. And Liverpool quickly getting on with the game. Venison. Winterburn. Venison, no nonsense about that challenge there on Winterburn. Gets it through to Whelan. Nicol. Hussein. Davis. Terrific battles through the midfield there, as we saw there as Molby brought down Thomas. And Liverpool, there's no doubt, will miss the competitive element of Steve McMahon through those areas. Limpar had a curiously quiet game on Wednesday night against Manchester United. Adams forward again, easy again for Grobbelaar. Bruce now beginning to sport a beard, which we'll see before the afternoon is out, you can be sure.
It's either that or he got up late this morning.
Side against Rush. Liverpool first in the table, Arsenal second. 6 points separating them at the moment. Fantastic incentive for Arsenal to win this one today, to bring it back to a much more manageable 3 points. Davis forward again. Hussein outwitted that time by the speed of Paul Merson. Down for Limpar, the flag is up on this side of the field. Limpar's offside. Molby. As George Graham rightly said, you don't go from being a good side to a bad side overnight after that one aberration by Arsenal, and you have to say at the same time it was an amazing performance by Manchester United. You can be equally sure that Liverpool are not going to stray far from their high standards here today. Well, Whelan caught in possession there, but Gillespie coolly looking towards Barnes. Bold had closed quickly on him. Steve Bold again, battling with Barnes. And away goes Barnes. Rush up there with him. Burrows has made a great run down the left here. Rush waiting for something in the middle. Down goes Burrows. No foul by Lee Dixon. Alan Dunn had a good long look at it. Up goes Gillespie.
I think Lee Dixon might have been a bit fortunate there. His feet were definitely high. A little bit lucky is our Lee.
To Mulby. It's an Arsenal throw. Dixon, Smith, shadowed by Gillespie. Smith having a good run of goal scoring at the moment. And Ablett couldn't keep it in play. It's an Arsenal throw. Smith with 5 in the last 3 games. Dixon with the throw. To a heavily populated penalty area there. It might come through for Thomas. In the end, Liverpool worry it away for the corner, which Davis will take. Limpar's made a good break towards him, so the option is to play it short if he wants to, and that's what Anders Limpar wants and has got. Arsenal's throw. Limpar again. Had a good long throw there towards David O'Leary.
Well, I say again, the Dixon throw-in was superb, and Arsenal might have created something from it. And then you get a silly corner taken. I mean, the idea of a corner is to get it over in the box, and they gave it away.
Free kick to Arsenal. George Graham certainly put a very brave face on the events of Wednesday night, publicly at any rate. I imagine that I think players got a bit of a roasting between Wednesday and today. Winterburn crossing it in. Ablett gets it away. It was Terry Venables quoted as saying that he felt that Arsenal might well come out today like wounded animals, intent on putting the record straight. There's George Graham with Ken Fry.
He smiled at you, Brian, didn't he? in the Marble Hall, or was it a grimace? In the Marble Hall.
Well, I was here on Wednesday night. Maybe he regards me as a bad luck token. Barnes now. To Whelan. It's a lovely ball played by Whelan. That was beautifully inch perfect, curling there nicely for Steve Nicol. Harry Venison now crossing it towards Rush, and away comes O'Leary. Smith and Thomas very close to getting that through to Merson. So 10.5 minutes gone, no goals in this live game here at Highbury. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0.
Yeah, the game hasn't sorted itself out yet, has it? Everybody's just feeling their way at the moment. It's very negative, but then one would expect it to be that way for the first 20 minutes or so.
I think most people expect caution to be the order of the day, Jimmy, but I think the atmosphere here is such that that's going to carry it through to quite an occasion. And there's a lovely ball by Rush for Burrows. Well, I tell you, he was a revelation, wasn't he, against Tottenham? He marked Paul Gascoigne so well, and we saw at the clip at the opening where he made such a good run down the left-hand side and crossed in for Rush.
This was a good run as well.
And this was an excellent run.
Yeah, good effort. Actually, they opened Arsenal up quite comfortably there. It was a good effort by Burrows.
For Liverpool, the 22-year-old who came from West Bromwich Albion. Hussein, there's confidence for you, lifted it away from Smith and Merson. For Gillespie, here's Barnes. Back to Gary Gillespie again. This will be a real battle of wits here today, and one to be enjoyed. Nickel. Ball for Rush. Mulby. Lee Dixon. Steve Bold is following Barnes wherever he goes. It means that very often it's Lee Dixon who becomes one of the central defenders. Bold's job is very much keeping an eye on John Barnes. Leary. Leary swift with his challenge again on Ian Rush. Adams. And O'Leary back. Tactical battle we are seeing at the moment.
Well, nobody's prepared to give an inch away, are they? And that's understandable.
Outlets forward to Burrows. Throw out by David Seaman, straight to Winterburn. Adams. O'Leary sweeping it long forward there, but very conveniently for Gillespie's header. Touched by Dixon. Merson couldn't collect. Gillespie dispatches the ball into row Z. And Dixon now takes the throw. Smith, Merson, Dixon, nicely tamed, but not by Davis. Calls for Rush. Limpar. Foul by Mulby. Limpar on the field, of course, with Glenn Hussein, who teammates for Sweden in the World Cup in Italy. Limpar and Hussein played in one game together in that World Cup in Sweden's game against Scotland.
Well, they want to forget that, huh?
They will. None of the Liverpool Scots were playing for Scotland that day. Limpar shot, Grobbelaar saves. Up to Rush. Hit run. Thought Mulby was behind him. It was O'Leary who was there. Still 0-0. Smith. Winterburn. Really encourage both the full-backs to get well forward. Winterburn on the ball here, and Dixon on this side.
Yeah, such is the thought and speed of movement by both sides, really, is that nobody's allowing anybody any room at all. The middle is totally compact. Nobody seems to be able to get a decent ball away. It's very difficult for everybody out there.
Dalglish obviously a little unhappy with that challenge. And George Graham already down on the bench. It's very much become the fashion for managers, it seems, to stand rather than sit. Both are doing that at the moment. Winterburn. There's Limpar. Okay. With Stuart Houston as assistant.
Becomes a fashion for them to shout a lot as well.
Here's Barnes. Dixon really tight to him there. Bold has been doing the job up till now, but Barnes did well to find a yard. Couldn't quite find Barrows from Whelan. We were living in a fool's paradise, of course, if you were thinking this was going to be a wild, full of risks, open game. It was never going to be that. It's got a lot to commend it. Ablett's back to Gillespie.
Well, the men with both room, if you like, are Gillespie and O'Leary. It's that type of game, isn't it? They're the only ones that can put their foot on the ball and knock it where they want to.
Gary Lineker, a game really much as we expected at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I think when you look at the two teams before the game, you know there's not going to be too much space out there. Both sides not wanting to lose, and even Liverpool are not really playing with two up front. John Barnes has got a bit of a free roll on the left, and he can join Ian Rush when he can, but Ian's basically on his own up there, and neither side's really threatened so far.
Thanks, Gary. Ablett's planting it towards Rush. Adams shadowing him. Didn't get a lot of length on that header, but there's a free kick going Arsenal's way for all that. Limpar. Just need something to open up somewhere. And that goal will change the whole scenario. Two sides intent on the moment at not making any mistakes whatsoever. There's a free kick again going Arsenal's way, quickly getting on with it. Davis sliding the ball out here to Michael Thomas, clipping it now for Merson. Lovely little ball by Merson for Davis, or rather for Thomas, who lost his bearings. Desperately trying to get it back again, and it was Ronnie Whelan who just hacked it away behind for the corner.
Yeah, good move that. Once or twice Davis has looked dangerous when he's got into the box. He's their best bet so far.
Well, here's Thomas in the 6-yard area there, just outside it, as Davis now takes the corner. Thomas again, and Grobbelaar saves. Merson can't get there. Did he go across the line? Yes. Arsenal have scored. Merson got that final touch, and that will change the whole game now. Bobbing about there, and Grobbelaar had made one good save.
The value of getting a good corner over Brian instead of messing about. Good volley, that. Great save by Bruce. And Merson just getting in over the line, yeah.
Just before Venison was able to clear it, and the linesman and the referee were in accord that that had crossed the line.
I don't think there was any argument about that.
Here's Barnes. Crossed in there towards Rush. Couldn't quite gather it up.
Well, as you say, makes a different game of it now.
Liverpool's first corner. Barnes gets a corner. Paul Merson notches up number 8 of the season. A striker you've got quite a fancy for, Jimmy. I know we've spoken about Paul Merson together in the past, haven't we?
Well,
let's have a look at the corner first.
Yes, certainly.
Albie with it. And Whelan's header. Let's have a look at the goal from the other side of the, from a different angle behind the goal.
It was a good corner. That was a great volley in, and Bruce did very well. Paul Merson was on hand, and you're right. He's had personal problems, Paul Merson, but I've always felt that if he straightens himself out, he could be a contender for an England place. I've always felt he's got the ability to score a lot of goals.
And he's still only 22.
Yep.
And I think looking at that from that angle again, Jimmy, it looked very much to me as though the ball was over the line.
Oh, the Liverpool players didn't argue. There wasn't any argument amongst any of the players, and that's a pretty fair sign that they know that it was in the back.
Arsenal 1-0. And so we will just... But whatever the argument, the scoreboard shows 1-0 to Arsenal. Got a foul by Venison. That's a throw. Limpar.
There's only 21 minutes gone, but it makes you wonder what Kenny Dalglish, if anything, is thinking when his top goal scorer is in our commentary box.
Yes,
does he need him now?
Albie. Burrows. Long-range shot! Oh, an excellent save. That must have moved in the air a little bit there because Seaman made a really late dart down for that one. Struck with venom there by David Burrows. And good work by David Seaman. Smith's header. Ablett punching it back. As we were saying just a moment ago, Jimmy, I just wonder whether Kenny Dalglish might just be regretting the tactical formation.
Well, as I said, you've got to be wondering what he is saying. Well, we know what he's saying.
He's desperately trying to attract somebody's attention there.
It is difficult when you've left your top man out, the top goal scorer. One thing, he won't be cold in that jacket. He's never taken it off, has he?
It's a goal kick. Bob Paisley there. Hussein. Wheeling in quickly, but Limpar winkling it away, finding his captain Tony Adams. Adams then finds Winterburn with a good ball down the left now for Arsenal. There's the cross again towards Merson. Good gathering though by Grobbelaar. As he came to that one, he just judged it well. He looked to see where Merson was. Merson. Thomas has gone on the run. Here's Michael Thomas now. Will he get there? No. Nicol got there first.
He's certainly looking the danger for Arsenal, Thomas. That was a great run through.
Hussein. Ablett. Old, preventing the ball coming through to Barnes. Head. Adams with forceful header. Hussein responding. Winterburn from Limpar's very deft and delicate touch, but Merson offside.
There was a few thousand of the crowd didn't agree with that.
Might just have been Arsenal fans.
Quite probably.
Looking at the director's box we did a moment ago, Sir Alf Ramsey up there today. I saw you having a chat with him. It's nice to see you, Alf.
Yeah, I was having a chat with Alf. He's very well. It's nice to see him.
And this is the sort of battle that he would have enjoyed, where the managers have got to pit their wits against each other. He would have loved this. Here's Limpar. Counts for Merson. A touch now towards Dixon, but Ablett puts to an end any Arsenal hopes there. And O'Leary's pass goes away out of play for a throw to Liverpool. Arsenal then leading by a goal to nil. Paul Merson the scorer. Nicol. Adams there, first to respond. A mistake there by Gillespie. Here's Dixon taking the pass from Merson. Finds Paul Davis. Michael Thomas up there. Came off Mulby, but straight again to Lee Dixon. Going to have a run at Ablett this time. And gets a corner. Great swaying crowd up behind that Bruce Grobbelaar goal. You can hear it something like 10:30 this morning, Jimmy, and they were already lining up. Real big first division occasion as Davis floats it in again there. Touch on once more. Up goes Adams in there. Smith tried to hook it back.
Yes, you're right about the crowd. It was incredible when we came along early, and the place was mobbed. I know you had to park your car around the side street, didn't you? Weren't allowed in the ground, were we? You're in a side street, minus your wheels now.
But I was happy to do that. You were a little less happy.
Well, no, I'm in a graveyard, and no one's likely to nick mine. Still, one bonus, the good ladies gave us the executive sandwiches by mistake with our tea, Brian, didn't they?
They were very hospitable.
So thanks to all those executives in the box.
Right, here's Winterburn. And now Limpar. That's a good little run by Limpar. A real juggling run there. And in fact, he earned himself a shooting position. 8 goals this season for Arsenal.
Yeah, it was a good little bit of close work there, which is what's needed on a day like today. Someone who can keep the ball very close to their body, work it, and get a shot in. Hussein.
Arsenal throw. Yes, Limpar, who had a trial at Liverpool some 3 years ago, stayed there for a week, and I think Kenny wanted him to come back again, but his club in Sweden was asking too much money. And of course, he's blossomed a lot since then. He's played in Switzerland, he's played in Italy.
Well, he's certainly been worth the £1 million that George has paid for.
Just gives him that little extra something, doesn't he, down that flank?
Yes, he does.
Smith, lovely touch here. Dixon, brought down by Burrows. Free kick to Arsenal, and Burrows being called to referee Alan Gunn. And that was a good, swift, sweet Arsenal move. And it looks as though the yellow card might be coming out.
It was a good run. It's a lovely bit of football here, actually, being played. Lee Dixon gets the ball and Burrows goes. I don't think anyone can argue about the decision there.
He's taken a knock on the face as well, Burrows. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Let's just see this Davis free kick. Hit towards Smith on the far side, but Hussein had defended well there, had not taken his eyes off Alan Smith, and Barnes can bring it away now for Arsenal. Limpar's challenge though, and Barnes couldn't get past Limpar and Davis, but there was a foul by Arsenal on the Liverpool number 10. Olby, Gillespie. Gary Gillespie. Running away from Smith. Nicol. Rush. Gets it back in for Venison. Oh, a terrific shot by Venison. He could have been excused if you thought that Seaman might have been caught by surprise there, but he reacted so swiftly as he had to do. He lashed one in there. Burrows. O'Leary certainly gives a stature to the middle of the Arsenal defence. He's only played once this season, though, in the first team against Crystal Palace.
Well, he must be enjoying this afternoon because he's picking up everything. I mean, David O'Leary is an outstanding footballer.
Gillespie back to Grobbelaar.
And he can see everything that's going on around him and he can act accordingly, and he's doing just that this afternoon.
Evans. Mulvey, or rather Venison. Now Mulvey. Whelan to Nicol. Delicately played again. Ronnie Whelan, but runs it into touch for an Arsenal throw. Whelan missed some 5 weeks out of the Liverpool side with a groin injury. He returned, of course, for that European Championship match for the Republic of Ireland against England. 1-0 to Arsenal, Merson 20 minutes. Dixon. Steve Bold. Dixon down. Followed the ball to Bold. Whether he was...
It's another clash with Burrows, actually. Nobody has actually seen that one, including the referee.
Well, let's... Maybe one of our cameras has picked it up as Gary Lewin comes on to administer to Lee Dixon.
Well, there's Lee with the ball.
Playing the ball. And Burrows just catches him after the ball had been played.
Well, he was very late. He was late, a bit lucky because nobody saw it actually. The ball had gone and I think the referee was following the ball, in fairness. And
Roy Evans on the the same time to give David Burrows ointment on a cut on the top of his head. A game, incidentally, that's going live around the world today, at least to 9 countries that we know of: Denmark, Sweden, Holland, France, Thailand, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Israel and New Zealand. And we've also got a fairly well-known face amongst the commentators up here tonight, or this afternoon rather. Come to in a moment. It's the Tottenham goalkeeper Erik Thorstvedt on the right of the picture there. But we're not going to Norway, so I suppose he's speaking in one of those Scandinavian languages, maybe to Denmark or to Sweden. But
the goalkeeper is wearing glasses. Is that a good sign?
But unlike Glenn Hussein at Goodison Park, at least he came with an overcoat. And Glenn Hussein was doing a commentary for Sweden.
I think getting back to that injury, Dixon would have felt it because he was standing on his foot at the time, so there wasn't much way of getting out of it. So he'd probably take a few minutes to get over that.
Smith with a header. Here's Merson. Davis. Hussein adjusted himself well for that one, and a good header out for Mulby. Being hustled by Limpar to the extent that he was forced into the error. The Seaman a long way out. Barnes saw all sorts of possibilities as he sprang forward. Seaman in turn felt it best just to let the ball run out of play. Been informed, in fact, through Gary Lineker that yes, we do know about Thorstvedt's spectacles, and of course when he plays he does wear contact lenses.
I'm not making any comment, Brian. I'm not getting in. This is Arsenal versus Liverpool.
Nickel back to Hussein, in turn back to Bruce Grobbelaar. In goes Adams. To Limpar. Thomas. Merson. Dixon. Merson. Dixon sweeping it now. Can Winterburn collect on the far side? Did it well. Limpar with the cross in, cut out by Hussein. If it stays this way, it'll be quite a momentous afternoon. So I have to go back to last March for the last time that Liverpool were beaten in the league. It was also in North London at Tottenham. 23 games ago. Mulby now. Can Barnes get there? No. Adams just put the foot to the floor and summed it up a little more acceleration and got there first.
Good bit of defending by Tony Adams, actually, because John Barnes had made a very good run there, and it was an excellent ball. Type of ball that could easily catch defenders out. Read it well.
O'Leary. But you get also the impression that Arsenal have put behind last Wednesday night, and this is much more like the side that had played so well in the first division this season.
Yes, they're playing well, Brian. They're giving nothing away, really. As I say, I think Wednesday's night goes down as one of those freak results that football throws up from time to time. I think had it been 1-0 to Manchester United, it would have been in some way more alarming for Arsenal. But to wipe the slate clean now and just come out and play.
Adams. O'Leary. Dixon. Up towards Smith. Hussein did his job well. saw Liverpool beaten by 4, I think it was, at Southampton last season, and I think Kenny himself would say it could have been 8, and it certainly could on that day. Even the best ordered teams have these little aberrations, and something goes wrong with the machinery. But it's how you come back from it, and Arsenal at the moment are coming back well. Benison towards Rush. What a great strike by Rush. Just wide of the post. And there's the warning for Arsenal, played through by Benison, and he turned and shot in one and came close to hitting the camera.
That's what makes him so dangerous.
Big meetings they've played over the last few seasons. Arsenal won only one. That was that famous one, of course, that Liverpool will never be allowed to forget, that decided the championship. Liverpool have had a good run in league games against Arsenal, but they're losing here by the Paul Merson's goal. Here's Barnes. And now Burrows tries to get it back to Barnes, but there are plenty of red shirts back on that occasion. Dixon now can bring it out for Arsenal. Crowd chanting that Barnes was on his tail. And Dixon didn't take heed and has conceded the free kick.
I think Dixon did take it. He was aware of Burrows that time.
Jan Molby with the free kick. Floated towards Gillespie, who's gone forward. Bowl did his work there. Ablett trying to dink it in again. The flag was up for an offside against Gillespie, who hadn't got back quickly enough. Arsenal's free kick. 2 minutes of the first half left. Dixon's header. Won by Merson. Here's Hussein. Abbott. And O'Leary.
I think the first half has been very much even, Stephen, really. It's taken an opportunist goal to separate them, as we probably knew it would, Brian.
That's quite right, Jimmy. It's a really tight, almost claustrophobic out there, but here's Limpar into the side netting. But you see where we saw a moment ago where Rush came close to doing something for Liverpool, and Limpar there. You've just got to lose your concentration for one moment in defence in this particular game, and that could be curtains. We're into injury time at the end of the first half. Hasn't been a lot of spectacular goal-mouth incident, but it's the sort of game where you feel if you concentration strays for a moment, you take your eyes off it for a moment, you could miss maybe the most vital part of the whole afternoon.
It's been an absorbing first half.
Here's Limpar into Thomas. Merson's gone on a great run for him, but I think Hussein will get there first. Bold, the header. Merson. Gillespie gets it forward to Barnes, a little touch to Burrows. Rush telling him that Ablett was away on the left here. Here's Gary Ablett. Limpar. Half-time whistle. An excellent first half for Arsenal. They're a goal ahead through Paul Merson after 20 minutes. Still, you feel a lot more football left to be played in this important Barclays game in the First Division in the second half. Here at Highbury then, the half-time score. Arsenal 1, Liverpool 0. Welcome back to Highbury. Arsenal coming out for the second half. Liverpool already out. Arsenal leading by a goal to 0. Paul Merson's after 20 minutes. And both sides without any substitutions at half-time. Both at this stage unbeaten in the league. Both just with one defeat this season. Both by Manchester United in the Rumbelows League Cup. Liverpool by 3-1 at Old Trafford. Arsenal by 6-2 here at Highbury. And away we go then for the second half. For Wednesday, Arsenal conceded only a couple of goals here at home and only 7 all season. So in a way, that's the measure of what Liverpool, for all their mighty attacking force, that's what they're facing in this second half. As Arsenal seek to open up this league championship and reduce Liverpool's lead to just 3 points. And of course that Arsenal have already had 2 docked for the misdemeanors at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Liverpool, for their part, determined then if they're going to win the championship, they're going to win it by more than 2, so there can be no arguing about it. Here's the free kick. Paul Davis chipping it in towards Tony Adams, who'd gone up there. Limpar, but the whistle had gone again. It's a free kick this time to Liverpool. Hamlet following in. Davis. There's Merson. For Dixon. Chipped forward to Smith. And the linesman flagging for a foul by Smith on Ablett. Referee agreeing. A free kick to Liverpool.
A little bit harsh, I would have thought there.
Smith looked a little aggrieved. Hussein. Hit long towards Rush, not accurate enough. Adams was there. Oh, and then delayed his clearance just a little too long. Liverpool get possession, but then lose it to Michael Thomas. Into Smith. That might fall for Merson. It might fall for Limpar. Down he goes. That's a penalty. First look at it, there wasn't much doubt about it.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Brian. Don't think there was any doubt at all. It was a good ball played through. Everybody's running for it. Merson and Limpar gets onto it. No, I don't think you can argue.
Just clipped him. Dixon scored twice from the spot. But this is a real big one now. A 2-0 lead would be so vital for Arsenal. Lee Dixon. It's 2-0.
Well taken penalty, under pressure. He knew what he was going to do. He was going to blast it straight, and he did. Good pen.
A real test of nerve then for the Arsenal fullback, and he passed with flying colours. 2 Liverpool substitutes warming up now. Arsenal 2-0 in the lead. Liverpool facing their first league defeat since last March. Winterburn with Arsenal's throw. run forward by Thomas, but the pass didn't match Thomas's run. Rush. Aldi. Burrows. Aldi. Foul by Burrows on Davis. And Liverpool pulled back. Carried away, you remember, you never write off Liverpool. 2 down with just 5 minutes of the second half gone. Gillespie. Liverpool sub still warming up, and it must be a huge temptation for Kenny Dalglish to try and change things with Houghton and Rosenthal there. Hussein. Kane hit long. Rush had come towards him wanting a shorter ball, and it's in a real no man's land there so far as Liverpool are concerned. Losing to Whelan, to Rush. It might open up here for Rush. Adams got back quickly and safely back to Seaman. It's about the first time in the game that Ian Rush had a real clear sight on goal. Dixon back to David Seaman. Get a slice of the action.
I think there'll be a lot of us now already reflecting, if the scoreline stays the same, the deduction of those 2 points that Arsenal received.
Burrows.
Which I must say, in my opinion, Brian, was ludicrous.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of debate about it, Jimmy, but I think what Arsenal are saying, we've got to put that behind us. They didn't appeal, and now, you know, they just got to go out and get as many points as they can.
They have.
Gets to Merson. Lampard looking for the ball in the middle, and he's threaded it through for Michael Thomas, and here's Winterberg. Davis. Limpar. Davis again. Limpar. Winterburn. It's an Arsenal throw. Venison's legs there, I think, to Winterburn again. Nickel closing well. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take your point about not appealing against the 2 points, Brian, but usually found in my experience of football, it's a waste of a time to appeal anyway.
Cut out by Bold. Gillespie to Whelan, and blitz pass didn't get back to Whelan though. Here's Thomas trying to lift one wide of Grobbelaar.
Useful effort. Didn't have a great deal on actually, and sized himself up, knew exactly what he was doing. Bruce had it covered, but it wasn't far away.
I think the game can only become a more open and adventurous game now, because if Liverpool are going to salvage anything, they've got to set about it in a very strong and positive attacking way now, which in turn might just give Arsenal a yard or two as they come forward. It's with Davis. Adams. No doubt at all that Liverpool are soon to make a substitution. There's a good deal of movement over in the tunnel area. Ray Houghton continuing to warm up. Molby holding off Davis. Sane. Gillespie. And out by Gold.
There's no doubt about it, the second goal has certainly done something to Arsenal, well, and probably Liverpool, but Arsenal are certainly a yard quicker at the moment in every department.
Thomas. Adams to Winterburn. I suppose really we're talking about Ray Houghton coming on as a midfield player. That would be to fatten up the midfield a little bit and then put Barnes strongly forward with Rush. Might be one of the things it's an option they have. They also have an option, of course, to bring on Ronnie Rosenthal, who's a very good striker indeed. In the meantime, it's Limpar. No foul. Molby playing it to Venison. You see there are, 5 players back for Arsenal, guarding 2 from Liverpool. So the odds were stacked far too heavily against Barnes and Rush. Played in there by Winterburn towards Smith. Knocked away there by Wheeler. Here's Paul Davis. Sidestepping Burrows. A bit of space now for Dixon. Merson on the far side. Gone round his man as though he didn't exist there. Now what sort of cross? Venison coming for this one, decides that he wasn't sure what was behind him. In fact, Winterburn was just behind him. And it's the corner for Arsenal, which Anders Limpar will take. O'Leary up at the near post. Steve Bold up there as well. Pushed out pretty far, but helped out by Jan Molby. Michael Thomas. It's an Arsenal throw. And Liverpool at the moment just can't get the wheels back on the track. Winterburn with the throw. Smith jostling for it. Merson getting in. There was a foul and a free kick. To Liverpool.
Yeah, they've pushed Barnes forward to join Ian Rush. But that's all they've done so far.
Molby. Rush. Beaten by Winterburn. Here's Nicol. Bit of space now for Venison. Quickly closed down though. Does well to find Barnes. Now what Liverpool need is a bit of Barnes magic, but he's found Steve Nicol with this one, and it comes off the full-back Winterburn for the Liverpool corner. 13 minutes of the second half gone. Arsenal 2, Liverpool 0. John Barnes. Floated deep, but oh, we've got a streaker, but we don't need to see him, who's... Oh, me, Jim, it's a bit cold for that sort of game, isn't it?
Can't believe that, can you? A streaking Father Christmas we've got, folks. And believe me, you can't notice a thing. It's that cold.
What Steve Nicol gets is another chance at the corner.
And the streak of pneumonia.
It's with Nicol. Whelan playing it in. Adams with the header. Might come back in again. That was touched by Rush as he tried to hook it back in. Okay. Merson trying to round Ablett. Did really well there. Lovely bit of play by Paul Merson. Fine ball by Davis, curled beautifully into the path of Thomas. And here's Winterburn offside. Just at this moment, Arsenal playing the more progressive football.
Yeah, they're quicker. They're much quicker to the ball. They're a lot keener.
And Liverpool are making a substitution. They're going to take off Ian Rush. No, they're not. Well, actually, they're playing games over there. They played a 9 and then a 6, and it's number 8. Venison is coming off. So Barry Venison goes off, and here comes Reha. Terrific little midfield player. Busy run and a good footballing brain. Scores his quota of goals as well. Dixon. Person. Davis, Burrows at him. Smith. Straight to Ablett. Arms well forward now, but O'Leary shadowing him.
In fact, right at this moment, I hesitate to say this, but it's the first time for a long time I can say that Liverpool are looking a pretty ordinary side.
Person. Now Limpar. Down he goes, but there's no penalty this time. And actually Steve Nicol going across to Alan Gunn and saying you really should have a word with him. That was a blatant dive. And Liverpool may even feel that there was an element of dive about the first one. I don't think about the first one, but they were slightly incensed by that.
Yes.
With every justification.
Yep. Can't argue with that, really.
And the referee, in fact, is having a quick word with Limpar. Whether it's about that or not, I don't know. But if referees can just get that cut out of the game, the game will be well served. As it is, Liverpool now get a corner on the far side.
Fortunate thing was that the referee, Mr. Gunn, was not fooled by it for one instant.
And here's Liverpool with the corner. Good solid bit of goalkeeping by David Seaman. Yes, I don't want to see yellow cards or red cards flying about the place, but you sometimes wonder whether for blatant diving like that, good gamesmanship and so on, and ungentlemanly conduct, whether maybe a few yellow cards might restore a bit of order in that respect, Jimmy.
Oh, I agree. I think it's a forward's responsibility at all times to try and stay on his feet. I think there's nothing more despicable than a forward trying to cheat his way into getting penalties.
Now here's Limpar. Whelan. Just can't get anything moving up front, can they?
It's not going for him, Brian. It's not. It's, as I say, it's not the Liverpool we're used to seeing. I mean, one has to give a great deal of credit to the Arsenal for that.
Davis. Burrows was quick on him. Here's Molby. Burrows again. Again, Davis was quick in there. Nelson chasing this one. Now Ablett. Up to Barnes. Glancing header for Nicol. A well-timed challenge by Winterburn. Whelan. Barnes. Nicol. Chip in there, wanting Barnes to get into the box there. Another big crowd here at Highbury this afternoon. 40,419, which is just a few short of their best of the season, which was last Wednesday night against Manchester United. Two big paydays then here at Highbury. Two very different games, chalk and cheese. Same for Liverpool. Sweeping out that long ball to Ablett. Dixon. And again it's Ablett. Houghton. Barnes. Houghton. Punched off it there by Limpard from behind. A shove in the back just as he was about to shoot, and it provides Liverpool with a free kick here. Now, Whelan is very adept at this sort of free kick. Barnes, of course, also. Molby. They've got a few free kick experts there. It looks like it's going to be John Barnes. So it could be a problem here for David Seaman. Ball needs to be built accurately. 4 in it, 5 in it. There'll be a John Barnes curl. There it is, but over the top.
The wall knew what was happening. They all jumped in unison. Not a lot happening for John Barnes this afternoon.
Gillespie. Davis. Limpar. There's a nice touch. Thomas. Here's Winterburn charging down the left. Smith in the middle, and Winterburn! Robillard just grabbed at that one. I think he, like everybody else, was expecting the little curl cross in for Alan Smith. Free kick given very quickly, taken by John Barnes for Liverpool. Houghton now to Whelan. Ablett's made a run down the left, cut out by Merson, and back it goes to goalkeeper Seaman. Terrific shot by Winterburn.
Yeah, again, a good move by Arsenal, and it was a good shot.
Ablett keeps it in play. We'll get a moment to talk to Gary Lineker, and let's just see what happens with this throw by Dixon. Thomas. Merson. Heel to Ray Houghton down there. Into Molby's path. And now for Winterburn again. That's a free kick Arsenal's way. Hold up from the back. Smith and Merson over on the far side of the penalty area, to be joined now by Tony Adams.
Yeah, it's a bit too far for a shot, so it's got to be a well-worked one.
Find a lot of space on the left, which Liverpool haven't taken any notice of. It's easy for Ablett to get away. Thomas knocking back the volley. Gary Lineker, really, Liverpool are just unable to put enough together at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether it might be worthwhile bringing Rosenthal on and pushing John Barnes back out to his more customary role on the left. Playing up front, he can't really get the ball to feet and go at players. He seems to be having his back to the goal most of the time. Perhaps if he got out there, it would enable him to get it to his feet and really cause some problems. Plus, they'd have the dual threat of rushing Rosenthal up there. It might be worth a try now because they've not got too much to lose.
But it's a much better Arsenal performance this afternoon.
Oh, they've played very well. They've been playing well all season. They're very solid, except for Wednesday, of course, which was just a one-off. As they've proved today, they've come out with the right attitude and they've dominated the game, really.
And Lee Dixon scored an excellent penalty.
He did. It was much better than my penalty yesterday, Brian.
Cheers, Gary. And Ronnie Rosenthal just looks as though Kenny Dalglish must have been listening to Gary there. Looks as though Rosenthal might be coming on any moment now. Feeling is it might be Mulby who comes off.
Well, there's not much point in playing the way they are at the moment. They've got to do something. They may as well put Rosenthal on. He's a goal scorer. He will go for goal. Liverpool at the moment are in a deficit by 2. So they've got to get on as many goal scorers, people who are going to get into the box, as possible. I mean, it really doesn't matter.
The two Swedes clashed there, Jimmy.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Limpar, and
They did.
his arm was flailing and caught Glenn Hussein in the face. Yes, they're taking Jan Mulby off, and Ronnie Rosenthal's coming on. Rosenthal scored only once this season, but he had a terrific end to last season with 7 goals in the last 8 games.
Well, this is it. He may as well come on. I mean, it doesn't matter now to Liverpool if they lose another goal.
And what's interesting is John Barnes, as Gary Lineker was saying,
right,
is now switching out onto the left flank. And here he is.
He's got to fancy his chances against Lee Dixon then.
Ablett hoisting it high. Seaman versus Rush.
He's had a competent game today, David Seaman, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Barnes. Hussein falling down Limpar. Adams getting above Rosenthal. Here's Houghton. Barnes. Well, so much for saying he's away on the left flank.
Yes.
Just had a few seconds there, and ever since then he's been tangled up in the midfield again. Winterburn. Davis. He's shot down there by Burrows. Burrows. Feet were a little high there on Davis. That's why the free kick's been given. 20 minutes and 47 minutes. Merson and Dixon from the penalty spot after Limpar had been brought down. And they make it 17 minutes to go. Smith, nice header down there for Limpar. Lost in a game by him, but Thomas couldn't get to it. Here's Davis. Merson. Ablett. Adams. If Arsenal can just keep this going. First league defeat for Liverpool since March. Since then, only 2 defeats in cup games against Crystal Palace, of course, in that memorable FA Cup semi-final. and then against Manchester United in the Rumbelows League. Hussein. Rosenthal. Did well, and so did Seaman do well. Really rifled in across there, low and threatening, and showed a bit of pace that we haven't seen so much of in the Liverpool attack so far this afternoon. Really hustling bold there, and some good quick reactions from Seaman. Adams with a header. Was canny enough to know that Winterburn was to his side, just nodded it there for him. Here's Adams again. And it's a result, this, if it goes this way, that will cheer up a lot of the teams in the top 6 or 7 of the First Division, who will now continue to feel that the chance might be on for a championship yet. Likes of Tottenham and Crystal Palace, Manchester clubs, Leeds on a terrific run as well. Tottenham, of course, were in the running.
I think the teams can take heart, because this is the least exceptional we've seen Liverpool for a long time.
There's the free kick. Merson knocking it back in again. The flag is up on the far side. It's an offside, a free kick to Liverpool. Now, running it straight to Thomas, though. And away he goes. Gillespie got the better of Limpar. Here's Gary Gillespie again, picking his way through, looking for Rosenthal on that far side. Bold missed it for a moment. Rosenthal couldn't quite keep it in. Tough moment for a linesman, that, actually, because it moved so quickly down there. It was hard for him to see on this side of the field whether the ball was in or out of play, and the referee, I think, in the end had to make up his own mind. Some 20 or 30 yards range.
Well, the linesman called it, but as you say, it's a long way.
Limpar, splendid little touch there. One from Davis, back from Thomas. Davis now toward Dixon. Arsenal's throw. And Liverpool have less than 15 minutes now to pull this game round. 2 down to the goal by Merson and the penalty by Lee Dixon. Laid in quickly there, Grobbelaar. Adams. Comes for Barnes. Nickel in some space here. Here's Whelan. Tablets. No foul there. There's a real hunger about Arsenal's play this afternoon, which certainly wasn't there for much of Wednesday night. But here's Burrows. Knocked down by Bold. Whelan. Ablett. Liverpool beginning to put a bit more pressure on Arsenal now. Ablett lifting it in towards Barnes, but again guarded by Tony Adams. No corner.
Yes, this is last few minutes is the best spell that Liverpool have had. They've suddenly woken up to the fact that they've got to do something, and they're now getting involved in the game, and they're actually competing with Arsenal.
Ray Houghton. Thomas. Eccles to Whelan. Rare mistake from Ronnie Whelan, but he recovered quickly enough. Talking about the hunger in Arsenal's play, they are chasing everything. We had two examples of it there where Liverpool just couldn't get the ball away. Particularly good passing, but there were Arsenal men swarming around them. Grobbelaar's kick. But straight to Winterburn, and just look at the space he's made for himself here. Calls for a good cross, and knocked in behind both Smith and Merson. Ablett. Hussein losing the ball again. Arsenal players down. Trying to see, it's Winterburn. There's a clash, I think, with Glenn Hussein. Liverpool fans might be saying, well, did it cross the line or didn't it? Was it a penalty or wasn't it? Well, knowledge I've got of Liverpool fans, they're a bit bigger than that, and I think they'll accept that it's not been Liverpool's day so far. It certainly wasn't Nigel Winterburn's there. I think he cracked his head as he hit the ground. The referee, of course, quite right. If there's any problem, particularly with a head injury, to stop the game at once. Good play there by Limpar. Here's Smith. Winterburn. Towards the far post. Grobbelaar grabs. And what a throw. Straight to Rosenthal. A great throw by Grobbelaar. Rosenthal on his way. Rush shrieking for the ball in the middle. And Barnes in a lot of space on this side. He threaded it through in the end to Rush, but it came too late because Arsenal had pulled people back so quickly. And you can see the annoyance there on Ian Rush's face. Actually, I mean, it's easy for up here, but if he could have floated the ball to Barnes, who was in about 10 yards of space on this side of the penalty area, that might have been quite another matter. Inside the last 10 minutes, about 9 to go now. Jimmy's got to choose the Barclays man of the match with a bottle of bubbly, Jim, to come a little later on. So if you can just turn your mind in that direction.
Will do, Brian.
It's not an easy choice, to be honest, today, is it?
It isn't. It isn't.
Here's Winterburn. Limpar sent tumbling by Nicol. All accidental, says the referee. Arsenal in possession. On goes the game. Merson. Thomas. Will it come for Smith? Put away again. Up to Rosenthal. He tried to dummy bowl. Good jump by Smith. Gillespie. Nicol. In a good jump by Smith. Can Merson get in behind? Six minutes left. Rosenthal. Houghton. Adams. It's a Liverpool throw.
Well, they're finally having a go. They've woken up, Liverpool, to the fact that they are losing this match.
Here's Nicol. Offside flag up on the far side against Ronnie Rosenthal. Cheers from the crowd because the referee originally had given the corner to Liverpool, then saw the linesman's flag, changed his mind. Certainly Arsenal defended well, Jimmy, when they were making a choice.
Yes. Well, there's several, isn't there?
I think Adams has had a particularly good game,
Adams has
hasn't he?
played well. Davis and Thomas have played very well. Two fullbacks have done well for Arsenal. In fact, it is Arsenal players that have dominated it, really.
Burrows. Houghton.
So it'll be an Arsenal player, Brian.
Up goes Adams. Winterburn. Smith. Been working the ball well through the midfield as well, Arsenal today.
Well, they've been on top from the start, and they thoroughly deserve their victory.
And I would have thought Michael Thomas is also a strong candidate.
Well,
for Jim.
I said that, Thomas and Davis. And Seaman, Dixon, Winterburn, Thomas, Bald, Adams, O'Leary, Davis, Smith, Merson and Limpar.
Well, it's a throw which Lee Dixon will take. 4 minutes remaining. Smith to Dixon. Davis. Winterburn. Threaded that nicely through to Michael Thomas. Here's Thomas again, covering a lot of ground. Winterburn outside him. Oh, the bad pass, it went straight to Ablitz. Offside against Rosenthal, very little in that. Jimmy, tell us the man of the match.
Well, you can only be as good as the game dictates, and you can only play as well. And the man on the ball now, I think, has had a superb game, David O'Leary. He's commanded the back. He's allowed nothing to go astray. Plus the fact he's my wife's favourite footballer, and that will stand me in good stead. David O'Leary.
Oh, he's a true gent, and it's only his second game this season, so he gets the Barclays bubbly, the Barclays man of the match. David O'Leary. Offside against Nicol. And possibly Rosenthal in the centre. With about 2.5 minutes of the game left now. Well, the announcement has just been made that O'Leary is the man of the match, and it seems to be a very popular choice, and a few cries of good old Jimmy from behind me. So. Merson, oh, what a lovely back heel. Smith with a shot, a fantastic goal. 3-0. What a back heel it was, though. And what a finishing strike by Alan Smith.
That really was a magnificent piece of soccer. What a marvellous back heel that was by Paul Merson. And a great strike. Oh, what a super goal.
His 6th goal in 4 games, and Arsenal have put to rest all the nightmares of Wednesday night now. 3-0 ahead against Liverpool, and even And for a side of Liverpool's strength and might, there's no coming back from that. And what a wonderful goal to finish it all off. Towards Barnes. Really does put the icing on the cake, that one.
Yeah, I think from Liverpool's point of view, they went to Tottenham a few weeks ago with this attitude and they got a result there, and I suppose they were fooled into thinking that maybe they could get the same result here. It hasn't happened because Arsenal haven't allowed them to play the way they wanted to play. They haven't allowed them to settle down at all. It's been Arsenal's afternoon all the way.
Well, it's Liverpool looking for the last word. Hussein's header, quite comfortably gathered by Seaman. Just listen to the Arsenal fans now. What a change a few days make. And Liverpool's heaviest defeat since Southampton last October. The October before last, that is. It was like 14 months ago. Here's Limpar. Into time added on now. Barnes losing the ball. Here's Limpar. Thomas. Adams. Winterburn. Playing it around. Smith again trying to curl one wide of Grobbelaar. Didn't get it right. A fabulous Arsenal victory, and the championship race really hotting up. A one-horse race, not anymore. The gap now narrowed to a manageable 3 points. Liverpool still lead, but there are others breathing down their necks now. Merson started it. Lee Dixon with a penalty carried on the work, and Smith from Merson's wonderful back heel gave Arsenal the final flourish. They said the most meaningful match played in the first division in the first part of this season, the half of the season, and that certainly proved to be the case. On a day when Liverpool really didn't quite do themselves justice, whether the gamble of leaving out Beardsley and Houghton on the bench and so on rebounded on Kenny Dalglish, it's possible. Let's have a word with the man of the match, David O'Leary. He's with Gary Newborn.
What a contrast, David. Congratulations. What's your assessment of your performance overall today?
I thought we deserved it. The main thing when you play Liverpool, we're a tremendous team if you let them come at you. We took the game to them, and as I say, we tried to play them in their last third of the field, and it worked out very well for us.
It really does open up the championship now.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of people looking out there today, not that they love Arsenal Football Club, but they want us to beat them, because it keeps the championship alive, and it really puts us back into it.
By the way, Jimmy Greaves made you a man of the match.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I suspect that David might have been doing a little bit of shouting out there this afternoon. Well, great win for Arsenal. The icing on the cake, Alan Smith's goal, a certain contender for our Goal of the Day competition that you'll be able to see after the break, along with the views of Gary Lineker here. We'll be right back.